I was also privileged to share some of the experiences aforementioned by others on this site, i.e. track meets in Cleveland and Slippery Rock. I was actually sitting at Mom's restaurant when Buck Edwards ordered his half-gallon of buttermilk. But the characteristic nurtured by my association with Dale Meddock was simply learning how to become a good person. Dale helped me learn self-discipline, honesty, respect for others, dedication to sport, and a love and admiration of athletics. I've been blessed with a loving family and equally blessed by receiving outstanding mentoring by coaches throughout my life, one of whom we honor on this site.
When I met Mr. Meddock, rather than treating me as a lost cause as previous teachers and everyone else besides my parents for that matter seemed to do, he instead set out to make me believe that I could be great. He told me that he wanted to place me into his exclusive gym leaders club, but before I could join, I had to be able to do 9 consecutive chin-ups within 3 months. Keep in mind that at this point I could not even do 1 chin-up, but just the fact that I truly believe that Mr. Meddock believed that I was capable of the feat instilled a new energy and ambition in me that I never knew I had.
It always amazed me that he was able to create such a dynasty in gymnastics from relatively no background in the sport. But how can you go wrong in anything when you pour your whole heart and soul into it? It was his high expectations of us that was the big difference. He knew what we were capable of and had a way of bringing it out in all of us. I dare say there would be no way I'd ever gotten to college had it not been for a full scholarship to Penn State. It just would not have been possible. I'd have been another out-of-work mill honk just like so many I grew up with had it not been for gymnastics. I do remember everyone putting bits of chalk in his Pepsi whenever he left the gym. The bicarbonate of soda that chalk is made of probably saved his stomach lining, if you think about it.
As a young boy, I can remember the countless hours in the youth programs of gymnastics and my admiration of my father and all of his gymnasts. They were my heroes, and some of them even received letters from me as a small child. Jamelis, Sinchek, Gwynn, etc. They were my heroes and role models. Their dedication, strength, and commitment were evident to me as a young boy. I was in the gym watching practices quite often. I wanted to be like them. It is a shame that more youth do not have the opportunity to be around people like these men. I believe my dad knew what he was doing when he had me attend those practices as a small boy because he would talk to me about their dedication, etc. He was molding me at a young age as a man, not a gymnast. Gymnastics was not to be, and I can still remember when my father told me that I had to choose another path. I was devastated and cried all night. All I wanted to be was like my heroes, and he was saying that I could no longer pursue the dream. I fought it. I even despised my father for squashing my dreams. In retrospect, I reflected how difficult that conversation was for my father. I'm sure he would have enjoyed coaching one of his sons, but he knew that we were not physically able to be gymnasts. Many of you can probably attest to my father being frank and honest with you. He would not mince words.
Women are the ruination of good athletes. He told me that in 9th grade. Not until the middle of my senior year did I stray from his advice. Not long after that, I started to date a young lady who has been my wife for 35 years. Could it be that Dale's advice kept me from meeting others to ensure I met my future wife? Fast forward to help building his house. Ray Mashinsky and I were drywalling an upstairs room. After completing part of the room, we wrote, "This ceiling was done by 2 state champions." The next day, showing up for work, we read what was written underneath. "Humility is becoming of the great." He said Dave Rep had written that, but I still think it was him. I could go on with others, such as eating sandwiches made of his homegrown hot peppers while Wilma chastised him for it. Dale, thanks. You truly are a God's gift to this world, and I am a better person because of you. Mickey Zawinski writes, "Back then as a teacher, you just did not teach just a student. You taught a person. Mr. Meddock's style of teaching was not 8 to 5, but more like 24/7. How he found time to manage his family and raise his children is simply amazing to me. I believe that we are truly better men all around for the teachings, mentoring, and friendship of Mr. Meddock. One does not measure success in life by monetary means, but by the impact and success of those you helped, guided, and most of all, steered in the right direction. Of the steering in the right direction, Mr. Meddock has truly succeeded." Butler coach Dave McInnes had this to say at the 1975 Ambridge Gymnastics banquet. "Despite the fact that so much of the Ambridge success has been at my expense, I mean, after all, you've beaten Butler 6 of 7 times, leaving us the glory of second place for the past 3 years and no hope of relief in sight, I still feel a special kinship with you, and I have special pride about our competitive relationship. In the first place, the 7 meets between Ambridge and Butler have been the most competitive and highest quality performances in the history of Pennsylvania gymnastics. While we may have to wait a while to see gymnasts as good as some of the guys we've coached in the past, today's teams show more depth and more skill than those of the past. But, to me there is something far more important than the quality of competition, and that is the quality of the rivalry. Show me 2 other teams who compete so hard against each other and still maintain through the whole thing a mutual and quiet respect and ever-growing friendship. There are experts who say that athletics doesn't build good character and that intense rivalries teach young kids only how to make enemies. These experts haven't seen an Ambridge-Butler gymnastics meet. I am most proud of this special friendship, and I want you to be proud of it too.
Honesty. It was never more evident than when my first team as head Ambridge basketball coach started out 10-1, and everyone was excited. We then went 1-12 in the backstretch of the season, and my father came down in the coaching office after a rough loss as he stated, quote, "Son, I know how you feel." I fired back, "How do you know how I feel? You were 181-1. With calmness and frankness, he stated, "Well, I felt like you did once." The tension was busted and everyone laughed. He had the ability to put things in perspective even in the most difficult times of your life. Honesty, integrity, and dedication are all words that could describe my father. However, the main characteristic that I believe everyone will agree impacted their lives is simple. He cared. He cared about people and did everything in his power to help them achieve their goals. In our daily lives, we may be fortunate enough to have someone like him as a teacher, coach, or friend. Those people come and go in our lives, but their life lessons leave us a foundation to build upon. We are fortunate enough to have him on a daily basis, and his impact has molded our lives. In my mind, I will always strive to be my father, but at the end of the day, there is always more to do. The countless lectures, at times annoying, have shaped my life. Thanks for doing this for him. I owe him everything.
After college, I landed a social studies job at Ambridge Area School District. When Ed Drake, my high school gym teacher, retired, I successfully bid on his position. This is when Dale Meddock became my colleague. Over my 32-year teaching career, he gave me countless advice on everything from coaching athletics, staying sane with school and teacher union politics, and even advice on how to best remodel my own home. As my teacher, my coach, and my colleague, Dale Meddock has been inspirational, but I am most proud to also call him my friend.